Hello, I'm Judy Cunningham, the teaching farmer with Country Gardens Farm. Today we're here at the teaching garden and we're at our salad greens bed. We've got different salad greens planted in here, just a lot of different types. This particular one is called the premium greens mix. This is a pre-mix that we plant. It's got the red mustard, the green mustard, it's got baby bok choy, it's got the black-seeded Simpson, which is a kind of a chartreusey colored green. And these are all the baby greens. You could take this and just cut this by itself and not add anything to it and already have a good mix and all for a salad. We've also got radishes planted here. The radishes can be used. These are just real tiny now, but they let them grow a little more. And then you can also use the greens while they're young. You don't want to use the radish greens after they get real big and tough, but while they're young like this, they're real good to go into the salads. Okay, here we've got Swiss chard. These are the larger leaves. These would not be what we would call the baby greens and all, but these are some of the larger leaves that you could still cut up and put into your salad. Okay, we've got the small Hakurei turnips. The greens on these can be used, or you could also not use the greens and let the turnips get bigger, and then when the turnips got large enough on there, you could use the turnips chopped up in the salad and also use the greens in there with them. Okay, another one of our greens that we've got in here is the arugula. Arugula gives that little kind of a peppery taste and all to your salad. Baby kale. This is red Russian, which is one of the baby kales that we like to grow. That's a good mix to put into the salad greens. Okay, over here we've got some of the baby beet greens.
Those are a little bit too small to harvest yet.
That's right. Yeah, these are too small, but we do have some here that are a larger one. These are a little bit different variety. I think this is the early wonder beet greens.
Tell us about your lettuce you got planted there.
Okay, this one is called All-Star Mix. It's just lettuce. It doesn't have any of the other bok choy or anything in it, but it's got the red and green lettuce.
And that's a come and cut again
Cut
lettuce?
and come again variety, it is. On that, we won't cut that one. That one's a little small yet. You'd let it get a little bit bigger. You can cut this. It'd almost be like microgreens. It's so small. But we'll show you on this right here. These are going to be a cut and come again too. So we'll go down at the base right here.
And this one's called Premium Mix, and we get the seed from Johnny's Seed, Premium Greens Mix. And we're cutting them at the baby leaf stage, which is a little bit bigger than microgreens, but not full grown. And leaving part of that stem there, an inch or so of that stem. And within a week or 10 days, if the weather is nice and they get watered and so forth, they will come back again. So you'll be able to take another cutting. And that'll happen several times. It won't happen forever, but you can get several cut and come again off of these. And you need to be, they're planted real close together. So you need to be harvesting these at this stage because they're going to crowd each other out and not do as well. So they're intended to be planted close, and you can see how many plants there are there when we seeded those direct into this bed. And just to tell you a little bit about this bed, it's up waist high for a reason. We made this as a wheelchair accessible garden, and also for folks who maybe not can bend over as well, or just for those folks who don't want to bend over. And this it's built out of pine wood, no treated wood. And then we used a oil, linseed oil, to treat it with, keep it from rotting as fast. It'll eventually wear out, eventually rot, but it'll last years like this with the linseed oil. And then the mix that we put in here is what I refer to as Mike's Mix. It's my mix that I've come up with, and it has got lots of peat in it. Perlite and compost, some worm castings. It already has, we put in some fertilizer, and Mike's Mix is, we talk about that in my book, how to mix it up. It's also on the website, the Teaching Farmers website. You can look it up there. But it's a lightweight mix, so it works good on this tabletop where you don't want a real heavy soil. And the baby greens are something that people could eat fresh. None of this really has to be cooked, so this whole variety of greens that we got growing here can be eaten fresh. You can see they're planted in patches, so we use the square foot gardening method to plant these. So each one of these different squares here that have the from the kale to the arugula here are planted 1 square foot. So when you planted these, you just laid it out with a pattern, a piece of wood that we had nailed together in 1 foot square, and just pressed it down to the soil so you could see the edges, and then you sowed the seed directly in there.
That's right.
So once the bed's built and the soil's in there, it's a real convenient, real easy bed to work. You don't have a lot of weeds in this because the soil that you're using has not got weed seeds in it. It's above ground, so it doesn't get as many weed seeds blowing in it. And then we're planting this so thick with the baby leaf lettuce and greens here that weeds don't really have a chance to come up as much. And the occasional weed you just pull up that you see. So it's an easy garden to take care of. It's something you can collect a salad from before a meal, and you're just going to show you about washing and spin drying this. They're not real dirty. They don't have a lot of grit on them, but you would want to wash them. They've been outside, so you want to wash them before you use them. And then you want to spin them in a salad spinner, or to get the leaves dried, and get them into somewhere where it's cool. When we do this on a larger scale to sell at the farm here, we're harvesting these leaves and we put them immediately into a walk-in cooler, and then take them from there and wash them twice, 3 times if they're gritty, and then we put them into bags and actually put them into a washing machine that's just on the spin cycle, and we spin dry them. Now in your house you could use a salad spinner, comes in real handy. So G's using some of the radish leaves. That's something that you wouldn't want to do if they were much larger leaves, but the little leaves like that work pretty good as salad green leaves.
Yeah, you don't want to put a lot of them, just a little bit for some flavor.
Yeah, same way with the beets over here. Show them some of the beets. So the beets are strictly going to be used for the beet tops, the beet leaves, and they're much tenderer, much more succulent, and nicer to use in a salad when they're that size rather than larger beet greens.
The larger beet greens are good to saute and use, but they're a little bit tough to go into the salad.
So this gives you a good mix of different types of greens, very nutritious and easy to grow. And then we'll be showing you how to wash and spin dry these and use them in a salad.